There comes a moment in every human life when the walls of limitation begin to close in, when the weight of what society has taught us presses so heavily that the soul itself starts to suffocate. Whether it happens in a cramped apartment surrounded by unpaid bills or in a corner office filled with hollow success, destiny whispers the same message: you were not meant for smallness. That whisper is the call to rise, to think bigger, act bolder, and get richer, not just in money, but in spirit, purpose, and power. The truth that shaped history's greatest minds has always been hidden in plain sight. Andrew Carnegie, born into poverty, worked in a factory for pennies, yet built an empire of steel because he refused to think in terms of scarcity. Thomas Edison, called unteachable, illuminated the world because he refused to bow to mediocrity. Henry Ford, ridiculed for his vision of a car for the common man, reshaped civilization through relentless boldness. They were not lucky. They did not stumble into greatness. They followed a law, an invisible formula embedded in the mind itself. They thought bigger than their circumstances, acted bolder than their fears, and the world was forced to reward them. Poverty is not the absence of money, it is the absence of vision. Wealth is not gold or paper, it is belief. What you hold in your pocket matters far less than what you hold in your mind. The difference between those who struggle to survive and those who rise to abundance is simple: one surrenders to the environment, the other commands it. You are either the sculptor or the clay. Greatness is not reserved for the privileged. Rockefeller was not born into riches. Walt Disney was bankrupt and betrayed before a mouse named Mickey carried him into immortality. Helen Keller, deaf and blind, shaped herself into a legend by daring to live beyond every limitation. What unites them is not luck or timing, it is alignment of the mind. The universe bows not to excuses, but to vision crystallized into belief, belief crystallized into action, and action repeated until reality yields. Here lies the formula no one teaches: what you dare to think, multiplied by the courage to act, compounded by persistence, explodes into wealth. Yet most people live as beggars at the banquet of life, clutching their fears, defending their limitations, whispering that wealth belongs to others, and in that whisper, they chain themselves. You cannot climb toward abundance while dragging the corpse of small thinking. You cannot rise to greatness while shackled by timid action. To think bigger is to reject the evidence of your current circumstances. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is bound by what is, while imagination reveals what can be. To think bigger is to stand in the ruins of your present and see the palace not yet built, to see your debts as future investments, your failures as stepping stones. But thought alone is not enough. Action must follow like a shadow. Ford didn't just dream of cars, he built them. Edison didn't just imagine light, he created it through thousands of failures. Churchill didn't wait for approval, he declared war on surrender itself. Boldness acts while others hesitate, and persistence turns action into destiny. When bold action is multiplied through relentless consistency, wealth begins to flow, not instantly, but inevitably. Yet there is a warning. Those who chase wealth without vision or purpose may rise fast, but fall just as quickly. History is littered with those who built empires of sand. True riches are born from bold thinking, purposeful action, and unwavering persistence. Carnegie didn't just build steel, he built men of steel, funding libraries and schools that still stand. Rockefeller poured his fortune into medicine and science. Disney turned imagination into immortality. They became rich not only in money but in meaning, influence, and legacy. Now the formula turns to you. The stage is empty, the curtain waiting to rise. The world hungers for new visionaries. Will you shrink into doubt, or step into greatness? The first step is not to ask, "What do I have?" but, "What can I imagine?" The second is to move without waiting for certainty. The third is to persist until resistance itself surrenders. This is not philosophy, it is law. The universe doesn't care if you believe it. It waits only for your obedience. Think bigger, act bolder, get richer. Clarity is the lens through which vision becomes power. A vague dream builds castles that crumble, but a precise vision commands the forces of creation. Carnegie once said men succeed because they choose one purpose and push toward it with all their might. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Without clarity, effort is wasted. With it, energy becomes unstoppable. Ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what others expect, but what sets your soul on fire. The vision that burns in your imagination is your compass. Until you define it with raw honesty, you cannot act boldly. Boldness without direction is chaos, clarity transforms it into conquest. Once clarity is born, belief becomes the engine that drives it. Belief is the invisible currency of the universe. Men trade in money, but the richest trade in faith. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Belief shapes your subconscious mind, and your subconscious shapes your reality. Maxwell Maltz revealed that the human mind is a goal-seeking mechanism that cannot distinguish between imagined and physical reality. Whatever you impress upon it, it brings forth. The rich think in terms of expansion and creation, the poor think in terms of lack and fear. The subconscious grows what it's fed, flowers or weeds, wealth or worry. Edison's thousands of failures did not defeat him because his subconscious held only one image, light. His belief burned so deeply that his mind and body aligned to find the answer. Belief is not weak hope, it is unshakable conviction. It says, "Though 1,000 obstacles rise, I will not turn back." Belief transforms vision into matter, thought into empire. Without it, the formula collapses, with it, the impossible bends. Belief is built through repetition. What you repeat daily becomes truth. Joseph Murphy taught that affirmations spoken with faith rewire destiny. If you declare with conviction, "I am wealthy, bold, unstoppable," your subconscious accepts it as law and shapes your world accordingly. Repetition is the chisel of belief. Clarity provides the vision. Belief provides the power. The subconscious builds the bridge. Yet even belief must move, through action. Action is the proof of belief, the ritual by which thought becomes reality. Walt Disney did not simply believe in Mickey Mouse, he built him, one drawing, one risk, one sleepless night at a time. Bold action is not reckless, it is precise and consistent, fueled by faith. It is rising before dawn to work for a dream the world cannot yet see. It is betting everything when others call you insane. Bold action does not guarantee immediate success, but it guarantees progress, and progress guarantees victory. The timid wait for perfect conditions, the bold create them. Alexander Graham Bell, ridiculed for his ideas, acted boldly until the telephone transformed communication forever. Nikola Tesla, misunderstood and betrayed, dared to test the impossible daily. The formula is eternal: clarity of vision, belief rooted in the subconscious, and bold action repeated through persistence. Vision without belief dies as fantasy. Belief without action rots into delusion. Action without clarity wastes itself in chaos. But when all three unite, empires are born. The formula works both ways. Be clear in your fear, believe in your failure, and act in ways that sabotage your future, and you will become richly poor. But if you are clear in your purpose, believe in your destiny, and act boldly, you will be richly prosperous, in wealth, power, and legacy. The law cannot be broken, you can only break yourself against it. Success demands more than passion, it demands discipline. Discipline is the bridge between desire and manifestation, the quiet strength that keeps you moving when comfort tempts you to stop. It binds thoughts, beliefs, and actions long enough for results to bloom. Without discipline, even the brightest dream fades. Carnegie's empire was not built on imagination alone but on daily discipline, reading, learning, refining. Edison's thousands of experiments were fueled by relentless discipline that chained him to his purpose. Discipline is love of your vision more than love of comfort. It is loyalty to destiny stronger than loyalty to excuses. And still, life will test you. You will face loss, betrayal, failure. Wealth is never granted cheaply, it demands proof of resilience. Resilience is the soul's refusal to die. It is Lincoln losing elections yet rising to lead a nation. It is Churchill returning from exile to ignite courage in an empire. It is Walt Disney, bankrupt and betrayed, walking back into another bank, another meeting, another dream. Struggle is not your enemy, it is your forge. Fire tempers the steel of destiny. Every empire bears scars. Every fortune grows from failure. Those who run from struggle run from strength. But those who embrace it transform pain into power. Every rejection becomes fuel. Every delay becomes patience. Every defeat becomes the seed of a greater comeback. Discipline and resilience guard the formula. Discipline steadies you amid distraction. Resilience lifts you after devastation. Together, they protect your vision until it manifests. Discipline is not punishment. Resilience is not suffering, both are instruments of greatness. Without them, fortune decays. With them, you become unstoppable. And at the summit of it all is gratitude. Gratitude transforms discipline from duty into devotion, resilience from burden into blessing. Gratitude allows you to see purpose in pain and wisdom in struggle. It is gratitude that makes the wealthy truly rich. Without it, even great fortunes become emptiness. Earl Nightingale said success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Gratitude makes that progress joyful. It keeps the spirit humble and the heart open to more abundance. Gratitude for discipline allows persistence. Gratitude for resilience allows endurance. Gratitude aligns you with abundance itself. Think bigger. Act bolder. Get richer. The formula no one taught you is now yours. The world does not wait. The future is being built in your mind this very moment, through the thoughts you think, the beliefs you repeat, and the actions you take. Choose vision over limitation, courage over comfort, faith over fear. The law of creation bends for those who obey it. You are not meant for smallness. You are meant for greatness. Begin now, and never stop until the world itself bends to the magnitude of your dream.